Karbonn Quattro L50 HD Review. One of the earliest Indian companies to jump into the low-cost Android smartphones game, Karbonn has been somewhat quiet of late, what with nearly a dozen new competitors to fend off. Things can't be easy. You can't keep doing the same old thing when everyone else is offering fantastic specs, great cameras, metal bodies, fingerprint readers, quick charging, and all sorts of other modern touches at lower and lower prices. The Quattro L50 HD, which we're reviewing today, doesn't look too shabby on paper. We're eager to see how well Karbonn has been able to adapt, and whether or not this phone has what it takes to compete in a market that has become a lot more sophisticated since this company started out. The Karbonn Quattro L50 HD has a fairly bold style, and is available in 3 colors. Our review unit was the gray version, which has a black front with a copperish trim running around it. It's probably meant to look like rose gold, arguably this year's most copied iPhone attribute, and it does seem like it under some kinds of light. You'll also see big icons for the capacitive Android navigation buttons below the screen. Up top there's a front camera and a tiny status LED that you'll only see when it's active. The same trim runs around the rear camera bump, protecting the lens from scratches. Sadly, it started to wear off within just a few days of using the phone. An embossed Karbonn logo is centered below the flash, and the phone's main speaker is towards the bottom. The power button is on the right, the volume rocker is on the left, and both the micro USB port and the 3.5mm audio socket are on top. The bottom is blank other than a tiny mic hole. The rear has a pleasant matte texture which is very easy to grip but also easy to smudge with sweat. There are gentle curves at the edges which make the phone even easier to hold. It's becoming increasingly rare to see removable batteries, but the Quattro L50 HD lets you peel off the rear panel and dive right in. You'll also find 2 individual micro SIM slots and a microSD slot underneath. The Quattro L50 HD is built around the trusty old quad-core MediaTek MT6735 processor, which means graphics are taken care of by an integrated Mali T720 GPU. There's 2 GB of RAM and 16 GB of storage, of which roughly 10.75 GB is available for use. The 5-inch display has a resolution of 720 by 1280. There's a 13-megapixel rear camera plus a 5-megapixel front camera. You get a 2600 mAh battery which is removable. The microSD slot can be used with cards of up to 32 GB. What's interesting is that while the phone claims to support 4G, it does so only for the SIM in slot 1. Even with slot 1 empty, a 4G SIM in slot 2 will not work on 4G networks. In fact, we only ever saw edge speeds with our 4G SIM in slot 2. Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and FM radio are standard, and even USB OTG is supported. However, don't expect anything modern like a fingerprint reader. Sadly, there's only one way to describe Karbonn's Candy UI, which runs on top of Android 5.1, crude. Things have been changed just for the sake of changing them, with little thought put into actual user experience design. The default app icons look ugly to us, and they're all crammed into folders in an effort to declutter the home screens. There isn't an app drawer, so that's probably necessary given the number of preloaded apps there are to deal with. Karbonn has saddled us with Amazon, Flipkart, Paytm, Savn, OLX, Hotstar, Truecaller, CleanMaster, Opera Mini, and Snapdeal. There's also Karbonn's own Games Hub, which is an app store for extremely low-quality games, and FunZone, which offers more games, photos, songs and video clips for sale. Videos cost Rs. 15 each and photos cost Rs. 10 each, and range from religious iconography to soft porn. Data meter, system cleaner, security center and power plus are additional little utilities that seem to do what their names suggest. Thankfully, most of these apps can be uninstalled. The notification shade has a row of quick toggles at the bottom. You can swipe upwards to reveal more, which isn't exactly intuitive. The Settings app has a few extra options for things like customizing status bar icons, though a battery level percentage indicator seems to be missing altogether, and configuring gesture shortcuts. Moreover, pretty much every notification you can expect the UI to display, from missed call alerts to battery level warnings, is written in horrifically mangled English. Some of them are barely legible. Whether due to poor translations or in just a lack of quality control, it's amazing that Karbonn never let this software ship. 720 by 1280 is a perfectly acceptable screen resolution for phones in this price bracket. Sharpness and color reproduction are also good. However, we've seen better when it comes to viewing angles and sunlight legibility. It's also worth noting that